Biden supports the radical left agenda that will destroy America. Time is running out before 5 million phone responses. Call again. It is critical that we rally millions of Americans to defeat Joe Biden before the election. President Trump must not be denied re-election, and it starts with your phone call to 800-714-2996. Please call 800-714-2996. Paid for by Brave America PAC, which is responsible for the content of this message.
Well, the nation of Sweden approached coronavirus a little differently from the way we did. They did not impose lockdowns on the entire country. They didn't force everyone to wear a mask outdoors. They didn't close all the schools. They lectured a little less than our public health authorities have. How's Sweden doing? Well, it's doing better than its neighbors are doing. It's reporting only a couple of hundred cases of coronavirus per day. In September, by contrast, France and Spain reported 10,000 new cases a day. Some experts, the ones who aren't enraged with partisan fervor, are saying that Sweden may be proof that strict lockdowns don't work and in fact may have been counterproductive. Alex Berenson has been saying this for an awfully long time. He's taken a huge amount of grief for doing so. He's the author of the Unreported Truths about COVID-19 and Lockdowns Part 2, updated examination of lockdowns as a strategy, which is worth reading, by the way, if you haven't. Alex Berenson, thanks so much for joining us. So we're sort of getting the final look at how Sweden wound up. You, for many months, have been saying, hey, maybe Sweden's a model for us, and you were attacked for it. How would you assess Sweden today?
Well, I mean, Sweden is essentially back to normal, as you said, and you can see that the other European countries are following Sweden. Essentially, that France and Spain, despite having large spikes in positive tests, are not going to full national lockdowns. There's some argument over sort of partial lockdowns in certain cities, including Madrid, but there's not a full national lockdown. But Tucker, can I pull back for a second?
Please.
I want to say something about what the president said today, what he tweeted today, where he said, don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. And
you can't say, hold on, you can't say that. I just want to issue a warning to our viewers. Of course, you should be terrified and on the brink of suicide. I just want to say that. Okay, go ahead.
That's right. I mean, that might be the most presidential thing this president has ever said. Okay, because here's what he's saying. He's not actually saying don't be afraid of COVID. He's saying don't be afraid of one another. Okay, because this is a respiratory virus. It spreads between people. And the only way to really make it go away permanently is to lock us all away permanently. And that can't happen. That is not compatible with life. And something that I will never forget is walking around Times Square about 6 months ago, and walking around New York City, and it was deserted. It was as if a neutron bomb had gone off, and everyone was terrified. Nobody was going outside. And look, 6 months ago, even then, that response really didn't make sense, but there were reasons for it. Okay, but we are 6 months on, and we know that if you believe the WHO and 750 million people have been infected with this, that the death rate is about 1 in 1,000, meaning 999 out of 1,000 people will live after getting the coronavirus. If you believe the CDC numbers, it might be 997, maybe it's 996 out of 1,000. It is a tiny death rate. And we have gone crazy, and we have sacrificed our kids, and we have sacrificed society. And Donald Trump walked out of that hospital today and said what needed to be said. We have to stop being so afraid of this. For this country, we put people on the moon. We're the first, manned flight in 1903. What has happened to us that this rather dismal virus has scared everyone to death? I do not understand it, and we have to get out of this.
Because there's no answer for death in a society like ours. I do think that's part of it, but I also think people should remember you can't live cut off from other people, and some of us don't want to, period. But you can't. You can't live a life cut off from other people. It just doesn't work.
That's right. And and listen, people can vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump for all kinds of reasons, but Joe Biden has barely gotten out of his house, it feels like, in the last 6 months, and Donald Trump has lived, okay? And he took a chance. He rolled the dice, and he got caught. He actually did get the coronavirus, but guess what? It's not that dangerous, and it looks like he's going to be fine, even though he's a 74-year-old man who's mildly overweight. So that's the lesson we should take here. We need to live.
It's funny how people attack you for saying things like that. I think that's the most affirming thing I've heard in a long time, and I'm really glad that you said it out loud. Alex Berenson, very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.